Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. We are going to start with academic IELTS reading, and we have a test. This is the latest test we are going to solve. So you need to be very, very attentive while we are solving the test. Actually, right now, don't try to find answers on your own. What you guys have to do, follow my instructions and do it all with me. Okay, if I'm reading the questions, you are reading the questions with me. If I'm reading the passage, you are following the passage with me. So be active and alert. IELTS reading is the most difficult module. The toughest one is academic IELTS reading. And those who are gender training IELTS candidates, raise your hands please. Gender training IELTS candidates, we are doing academic reading because it is the tough one, and the only difference between academic and gender training is type of passages. Otherwise, the questions, we have same type of questions in academic and in gender training. And another point is part 3 of gender training is exactly the same like academic reading. So if gender training candidates solve some tests of academic reading, they will find gender training reading easier after that by comparison. Okay, and for gender training, marking criteria is tougher, 34 correct answers, and then they get 7 band. Academic candidates with 30 correct answers, they get 7 band. So this marking criteria is different because of the level of difficulty. Okay, now whenever you start your reading, first of all you have to read the title. What's the title here? Thylacine. Now look at me. What do you understand from thylacine? Maybe animal, but you don't know. Most of you don't know. If you read the title and you don't know what it is about, it's a good idea to read the first line of the passage. What is it? The extinct thylacine, also known as Tasmanian tiger. So thylacine is a tiger. Now I want you to switch on your imagination to think about tigers. A tiger is going, tiger is walking, tiger is going there. Okay, so think about tiger. Yeah, another tiger. All right, so think about tigers and you'll understand better. Your imagination will help you a lot in IELTS listening as well as in IELTS reading module. After reading the title, first you will come to the questions and you will take a look at all the questions. Questions 1 to 5, complete the notes below. Now guys, I tell you, there are two types of questions. One is type A and one is type B. Type A questions are those where questions and answers are in order. And type B questions are those where questions and answers are not in order. Now you may ask me, how do we get to know it's type A or type B? I'll tell you about that. Mainly type B questions are just few. Two type of questions are type B. Number 1, list of headings. Number 2, which paragraph contains the following information. Otherwise, most of the questions are type A questions. Okay, so whenever you start your reading, it's a good idea to start with type A questions because type A questions are systematic ones and you can easily find your answers. So let's come to questions 1 to 5. They are complete the notes below. Choose one word only. Questions 6 to 13, what are they? True, false, not given. Now true, false, not given is also type A question. So please note down one thing. In academic reading part 1, you are going to get sentence completion and true, false, not given. In part 1, most of the time they give you type A questions. And in gender training reading part 1, you will get true, false, not given and sentence completion as well. There will be 2 passages and you will be getting these type of questions. All clear? Okay. Now you just have to see how I read the questions, how I scan the passage, and your first target should be, after reading the question, you should reach the right part of the passage where there is the answer. Once you do so, you can save time, you can manage your time. Otherwise, in IELTS reading, time is very, very important commodity. Students usually finish 2 passages in 1 hour and they don't have time for 3rd passage. So you need to take care of all these things. Okay, now let's make a start. Thylacine. I'm reading questions 1 to 5. Complete the notes below. Choose one word only from the passage. Thylacine, appearance and behavior. They use the word looked rather like a dog. So please go back to the passage and look for the word dog. First paragraph, second line, and there is the word dog. It means answers are going to be somewhere. Now please let's go on. Second bullet point, had a series of stripes along its body and tail. Okay, now next is ate an entirely dash diet. Now listen, ate. You will look for something eats or ate. Entirely dash diet. Dash diet means type of diet. It eats. So please come to first paragraph. Look for the word feeding. Second paragraph. Look for the word feeding. Okay. Got it? Second line. In terms of feeding. Everyone found it? Now listen. This is the sentence where you will find the answer. And if you reach the sentence which contains the answer like this, IELTS reading will not be a problem. IELTS reading is a problem when you read the wrong paragraph. When you read the wrong sentences where there is no answer, then you read something else. So if you do IELTS reading without any proper mechanism, you will often be lost. Okay? So I read it. Now basically we are going to see type of diet. Dash diet means type of diet. In terms of feeding, it was exclusively carnivorous and its stomach was muscular with an ability to distend so that it could eat large amounts of food. So in terms of feeding, it was exclusively carnivorous. Type of diet? Carnivorous. And what is carnivorous? Animals that eat meat. So ate an entirely dash diet. Entirely dash diet, and for that they use exclusively carnivorous. All clear to everyone? And it's one word only. So you're not going to write any extra word with that. When it is one word only, don't even write. No, why exclusively? It's one word only. Yeah, if you want to make your right answer wrong, then write exclusively also. And after that you say, मैं पूरा answer लिख के आया था. Okay, just read the instructions. What is the instruction? क्या लिखा हुआ है? One word only. So then why you write exclusively? Okay, let's go on. Question number 2. Probably depended mainly on dash when hunting. Look here. Now imagine that tiger, when tiger is hunting, it depends on something. It may depend, it depends on its vision, it depends on its speed, it depends on its whatever. Okay, so when hunting, probably depended mainly on dash when hunting. Now let's go on. Look for the word hunting, scavenger, hunt and all that. Okay, now please come to fifth last line. During long distance chase. Chase is for hunt. I mean purpose is same. Chase is for hunt. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Good. All right. During long distance chase, thylacines were likely to have relied more on scent. Relied more on. And what does it mean? Relied. Rely means depended. So depended on what? Scent. And what is scent? Khushbu. Exactly. So for question number 2, correct answer is scent. And in part 1, don't give more than 1 minute to each question. Try to finish it all in 11 to 12 minutes so that you have more time for part 2 and part 3. All clear? Please make sure your neighbor is also attentive. Your neighbor should not sit idle that he's looking here and there and doesn't know what's going on. Okay. Question number 3. Young spent. Young means the babies of thylacine. Okay. Young spent first months of life inside its mother's dash. Look here. It's the part of mother's body. Inside its mother's dash. So let's go back and we look for babies. Third paragraph, and you need to come to this third line. Newborns. Okay, what is the word for newborn in the question? Young. Got it? You must focus all these things. Newborns crawled into the pouch on the belly of their mother. So what is on the belly of their mother? Pouch. What is the answer? Good. Thank goodness no one said belly. Okay? So what's the question? Young spent first months of life inside its mother's pouch. And what is the word for mother's pouch? They use the word pouch on the belly of their mother. Clear? Yeah, now why not belly? Because it's not the answer. There is a pouch actually. Okay? Just like kangaroo. Inside. Yeah, inside. Yes, it's another word. Into the pouch and inside the pouch. Into and inside, another good thing. Good. Let's go on. Decline and extinction. Question number 4. Last evidence in mainland Australia is 3100 year old. Look for 3100. Fourth paragraph, 3100 year old. Now look here, look here. They have used the word 3100 year old dash. What does it mean? It means something which is 3100 years old. So let's go back and we read from here. Okay, we found 3100 years old. I'm reading it from second line. Fourth paragraph, second line after full stop. The most recent, found it? Okay, please follow me. The most recent well-dated occurrence of thylacine on the mainland is carbon-dated fossil from Murray Cave in Western Australia, which is, now listen, very important point, which is a word of reference, which means fossil, which goes back to fossil, or which is qualifying fossil, which is around 3100 year old. Now some will write Australia, some will write cave, okay, because they don't know where the hell is which going back to. So where which is going back, that will be the answer. Again, if you read it like this, is carbon dated fossil from Murray Cave in Western Australia, and then there is the comma, which is around 3100 year old. So that is fossil. Correct answer is fossil. Okay, let's go on. After that, there is one point without a question. So it means in the passage we will leave some lines. Question number 5. Reduction in dash. Underline the word reduction. Reduction in dash and available source of food were partly responsible for decline in Tasmania. Now let's look for reduction and we go on.
Next page.
Next page. Please come to next page. Okay, now first paragraph we have here. Okay, we just go on. Please come to first paragraph, third last line. These include competitions. Got it? Yes. Okay, and for reduction they have used the word loss of. These include competition with wild dogs introduced by European settlers. Loss of habitat along with the disappearance of prey species and distemper-like disease, which may also have affected thylacine. So loss of habitat. One thing is wild dogs and second is loss of habitat. So reduction in. Now reduction in, you cannot write wild dogs because wild dogs came there. Europeans brought wild dogs to fight with this tiger. So reduction in habitat. And what is the word for reduction? Loss of. Okay, they always use words like this. Once you solve 8 to 10 tests, you will be clear. You will be clever also. Clear and clever, right? So the correct answer is habitat. Okay. Okay guys, now we move on. Question number 6 onwards. True, false, not given. I tell you, there is a mechanism in true, false, not given as well. Sometimes there is one word which decides whether the answer is true, false, or not given. And that word can be majority. That word can be most of. That word can be all. Okay? Sometimes it's a phrase A phrase is a group of words, like 3, 4, 5 words that decides. So whenever you read the questions, you need to decide immediately which thing is going to decide whether the answer is true, false or not given. I tell you how to find that. And then you will look for that specific information within the question and you'll find it like this. Okay, let's do it. Question number 6. Significant numbers of thylacines. Underline significant number. In true, false, not given, they always give words like this. Significant numbers of thylacines were killed by human. Now, significant number were killed by human from 1830s onwards. Look here. Look here. If majority of thylacines were killed by human from 1830s, answer is true. If they were killed by hunters, hunter is human, people, okay, then the answer can be true. If they were killed by wild dogs, you know, they said Europeans introduced wild dogs. So if majority of thylacines, they were killed by wild dogs, not by human, answer is false. And if they don't tell us that the majority or significant number of thylacines, whether they were killed by human or by dogs, then answer is in every question of true, false, not given, you have to find this very thing, right? So there they use the word significant number and 1830s. Please come back, look for 1830s. Second page, first paragraph. Got it? Second page of the passage, first paragraph. The dramatic decline of thylacine in Tasmania, which began in the 1930s. Now see that you easily found 1830s. So first thing is to find the location of the answer. What do we call it? Location of the answer. I'm reading first line. 1830s and continued for a century is generally attributed to the relentless efforts of sheep farmers and bounty hunters with shotgun. Now who killed most of them? Sheep farmers and bounty hunters. Now what is bounty hunter? Have you noticed one thing? They have given double star here. Some words which are really unusual or any terminology, they give the meaning. If you come down, bounty hunters, people who are paid a reward for killing a wild animal, they are called bounty hunters. So what do they say here? And continued for a century is generally attributed to most of the killers of thylacine. They were sheep farmers and bounty hunters, and both of them are human. So please come back. Significant number of thylacines were killed by humans. For humans they use the word farmers and bounty hunters. Good? Clear? Good. And you should write true, T-R-U-E, true, or capital T, whatever. Let's go on. Question number 7. Several thylacines were born in zoos. Underline several thylacines born in zoo during the late 1800s. Now listen. Late 1800s. What does it mean? This is very important point. Late 1800s. What does it mean? No, listen. Late 1800s means 1770, 1780, 1790, 1795. Remember this thing. Now, which century is going on? 21st century. But what do you write? 2022. 2022 means, 20 is 20th. You understand this point? 20 is 20th and the century is 21st. So this is what you need to understand. When they say 1800s, don't look for 1800. Look for 17 something. Okay, and as they said, late means 1785, 1795 and all that. So several thylacines were born in zoos. Let's go back. Questions and answers are in order. Found the word? Okay, next paragraph, and we've got this first line. Alright, let's just go on. There was only one successful attempt to breed a thylacine in captivity. In captivity means in the zoo. Captivity means in the zoo. there was only one successful attempt to breed a thylacine in captivity at Melbourne Zoo in 1899. Now, what is 1899? It's late 19. It's not early 1800s. It's late 19. And then they use the word several thylacines. But over here, what do they say? There was only one successful. So there are two ways by which this answer is false. Absolutely. And two ways. One is this 1899 and second is there was only one successful attempt. Okay? Got it? All clear? Good. And again I'm saying underline that line where there is the answer. Go back home and practice again. Okay, question number 8 please. John Gould. John Gould's prediction about thylacine surprised some biologists. Underline the word surprised. John Gould is a name. John Gould was a scientist, a bird scientist and all that. John Gould's prediction about thylacine surprised some biologists. Now look here. Over here, only the word surprised will decide whether the answer is true, false or not given. If John Gould's prediction surprised the scientists, like scientists were amazed, answer is true. If scientists were expecting that and for them it was normal, they were not surprised, answer is false. And if they don't tell us whether the scientists were surprised or not, then the answer is not given. What is the clue word? John Gould. Absolutely. Please come back. Exactly. Third line of third last paragraph. The famous naturalist John Gould foresaw means predicted, the thylacine's demise, okay, when he published his Mammals of Australia between 1848 and 1863, writing, the numbers of this singular animal will speedily diminish, extermination will have its full sway, and it will then, like the wolf of England and Scotland, be recorded as an animal of the past. Have they mentioned anything that the scientists were surprised? So the answer is, well done. Got it now? Good job. This is part 1. ठहर जाओ, अभी part 2, 3 आने दो, फिर देखना सांप सूंघता है. Okay, that's normal. Alright, let's go on. Question number 9. In the early 1900s, what is that? Early 1900s, 18 something. Many scientists became worried, underline became worried. Many scientists became worried about the possible extinction of thylacine. Now listen, if scientists became worried about the possible extinction of thylacine, answer is true. If scientists did not pay any attention, if they did not notice about it, then the answer is false. And if they don't tell us whether the scientists were worried or not, then the answer is not given. Let's go back. Question number 9, second last paragraph. However, there seems to have been little public pressure to preserve the thylacine. Understand this sentence? They say, however, there seems to have been little public pressure to preserve the thylacine, nor was much concern expressed by scientists. So what does it mean? Scientists were not worried. When they use the word concerned, they use the word nor was much concern expressed by scientists. So when scientists were not concerned, they were not worried. So the answer is false. If you do IELTS reading logically with understanding, believe me, it's going to be easier for you. And if you're going to move here and there for answer of question number 1, for example, you are reading middle paragraph, then you read another paragraph, then you read more. In IELTS reading, when you start reading more, you will start getting confused and then you will never find the answers, okay? So be careful. Have you noticed one thing? We are reading only 1 to 2 lines. For each answer, we are reading 1 to 2 lines. And how do we reach there? We read the question, from the question we find the clue word and we go there, okay? Let's go on. Question number 10. TT flying. Now, what's the clue word? T.T. Flynn's proposal to rehome captive Thylacines. Rehome means bring them back. For example, in Pakistan, there is a place called Kalar Kohar. And once upon a time, there used to be peacocks there. Now they have just few peacocks. So rehome means we bring some peacocks and leave them there. That means rehome. So T.T. Flynn's proposal to rehome captive Thylacines on an island proved to be impractical. Now listen, if his proposal was practical, answer is false. If his proposal was impractical means not practical, answer is true. And if they don't tell us, they talk about his proposal, but they don't tell us whether it was practical or impractical and all that, then the answer is not given. Now let's go back. Third line. Second last paragraph, third line. A notable exception was T.T. Flynn, professor of biology at the University of Tasmania. In 1914, he was sufficiently concerned about the scarcity of the thylacine to suggest that some should be captured and placed on a small island. But it was not until 1929, with the species on the very edge of extinction, that Tasmania's Animal and Birds Protection Board passed blah 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 blah. See that? They did not mention anything whether his proposal was practical or impractical. Now have you noticed one thing? Just one word. Practical or impractical, or no mention of that very thing, which decided the answer is true, false, or not given. So question number 10, answer is not given. Okay, question number 11, please. There were still reasonable numbers of thylacine. Underline, still reasonable number of thylacines in existence when a piece of legislation protecting the species during their breeding season was passed. Okay, now listen. They made a legislation that during the breeding season of thylacine, they will not kill them. Okay, what was the law? The law when a piece of legislation protecting the species during their breeding season was passed. Now, when they passed the law, try to understand the question. When they passed the law, there were still reasonable numbers of thylacine. Now, if when they passed the law, there were reasonable number of thylacines, answer is yes. If at that time there were just few or small number of thylacines, then the answer is false. And if they don't tell us when they passed the law there was reasonable number or small number, then the answer is not given. So please let's come back. Same paragraph. Look for the word law, legislation and all that. Yes, I'm reading second last paragraph from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th line, but it was not until 1929. Found it? Okay. Alright. So let's read from here. But it was not until 1929 when the species on the very edge of extinction. What does it mean? Few. Small number. Very edge of extinction. Okay. Extinction. That Tasmania's Animal and Birds Protection Board passed a motion protecting thylacine only for the month of December, which was thought to be their prime breeding season. So what happened? There was significant number or just what? What is the question? There were still reasonable numbers. मैंने नहर में धक्का दे देने जो true की आवाज निकाल रहे हैं. Listen, still reasonable number, and over there they say they were on the brink of becoming extinct. Extinct का मतलब होता है नापैद हो जाना, खत्म हो जाना. Like dinosaurs are extinct now. So over here they say reasonable number of animals. In the passage they say they were becoming extinct. This information is contradictory. So the answer is false. Answer is false. Okay. कहीं शायद कुछ और आ गया मार्केट में नया है. Okay, question number 12 please. Question number 12. From 1930 to 1936, the only known living thylacines were all in captivity. In true false not given, word all is very dangerous. Encircle all. And imagine the question, 1930s to 1936, that is your clue word. Now they say only known living thylacines were all in captivity. Now listen, if only known thylacines were all in captivity, answer is true. If some were in the jungle and some were in captivity, it means not all. If they use the word majority of them, they were in captivity. Now majority does not mean all. Okay, you just have to focus the word all. Let's go back. Same paragraph, and you see the word 1930. I'm reading it from fourth last line. The last known wild thylacine to be killed was shot by a farmer in the northeast of Tasmania. What does it mean? Farmer ne to maar diya. Okay. All right. They say, I'm reading this one again. The last known wild thylacine to be killed was shot by a farmer in the northeast of Tasmania in 1930, leaving just captive specimens. Official protection of the species by Tasmanian government was introduced in July 1936, 15 days before the last known individual died in Hobart Zoo. So last one also died in Hobart Zoo. Now please come back. Wait a minute, let's read the question, then we decide. From 1930 to 1936, the only known living thylacine were all in captivity. Now listen, how many were left? Okay, so please come back here. What do they say? We read it again. They said here, after this, the last known wild thylacine. Last known, that was wild thylacine, but we are looking for thylacine in captivity, in the zoo. To be killed was farmer. Then they say, leaving just captive specimens. Now what are those captive specimens? Official protection of the species by Tasmanian government was introduced in July. Then they say 59 days before the last known individual died. Last known individual died in Hobart Zoo. So what does that mean? Only known living thylacine were all in captivity. All in captivity means they had only one. So that one was all. So the answer is true. Read again if you think it is false. Just focus the word all. And for all, they only said the last one. See, last known individual. Okay, underline the word last known individual. Last known individual means all. Clear? Last known individual, that means all. Yes, please. Yeah? No, but when we come to the, no, that we are not reading about that. That was killed by a farmer. We are not reading about that. We are reading the last line, where they say last known individual died in Hobart Zoo. We are reading that one, okay? So the answer is true. Okay, let's go on. Yes, the only living thylacine were all in captivity. So that was in captivity.
Farmer killed in 1930.
Yeah?
It must be included in that.
It is included, yeah. Okay, let's go on. Please come to question number 13. When they say 1936 July, so that includes it. Huh? क्यों नहीं थे? पढ़े तो सही. क्या लिखा हुआ है? लास्ट नोन इंडिविजुअल डाइड इन होबार्ट जू. जू किसको कहते हैं? हाँ? That was killed by a farmer. We are not talking about that. उसके साथ क्या लिखा हुआ है? देखें, wild thylacine. We are not concerned about wild thylacine. What are we concerned about?
It's about the type actually, wild type and
Wild is not in the zoo, but we are concerned about the thylacine in the zoo. Yeah. Okay. And by the way, if you are confused, it's your own confusion. In IELTS reading, it's all clear. अगर आपको लग रहा है ना, वो आपको ही लग रहा है. Okay. Yes. Let's go on. Question number 13. Attempts to find living thylacines are now rarely made. Okay, attempts to find living thylacines. Now means present. Okay, now if they say attempts to find living thylacines are now rarely made, means just sometimes they try to find thylacine, otherwise they don't make any attempt. Attempt means koshish, try. Last paragraph. There have been numerous expeditions, underline numerous expeditions, and searches for thylacine over the years, none of which has produced definitive evidence that thylacine still exists. The species, focus this line, the species was declared extinct by Tasmanian government in 1886. Now listen, you guys know, look here, try to understand. You guys know dinosaur is an extinct. Now, are there any scientists who are searching for dinosaurs on planet Earth? No, because it is confirmed extinct. So they say here, the species was declared extinct by Tasmanian government in 1986. When something becomes extinct, then why will people go and find it? Question number 13. Attempts to find living thylacines are now rarely made. Very technical question. What is the answer? Excellent, not given. Because they did not tell us. Now they say the animal has become extinct. So when some animal has become extinct, they will not look for it.
Last paragraph mein there have been numerous expeditions.
Past tense, sir. Past tense. No, just a second. He's right. Listen, in the question they have used the word now. Try to understand my point. Now means present. There have been numerous expeditions means past. हाँ जी, हाँ ये ऐसी करूं पढ़ के आने ठीक है, all good, thank you. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. We are going to start with IELTS reading. Show me your pencils. All you need is pencil. Yeah, colorful, beautiful pencils in actual exam. And you should be happy that once again you are using pencils. बच्चे बन गए दोबारा. Okay? Yeah, देख रहा हूँ मैं सबने गन फैलाया हुआ tables पे. Okay, so IELTS reading, and we are going to do this guided tour, guided test. Guided test means you have to follow me. The way I'm telling you, the way I'm reading the questions, don't go ahead of me. It's not I'm reading the question and you tell me the answer. Yeah? It's not like that. You have to read the question. If I'm reading the question, if I say go to the passage, look for this word and all that, then you can do that. Remember, in reading, we need three things. In IELTS reading, we need three things. Number one, we need reading comprehension. Reading comprehension means whatever you read, you should understand. The words, sentences, they should make sense. You know, we know reading, but most of you don't know what we read. So this is called reading comprehension. And in order to improve your reading comprehension, I advise you to translate 8 to 10 passages from English into your native language. Just to check that, how much I understand. Sometimes you don't understand, but you think I understand. Yeah, you don't understand, but you think, oh, I understand that. No. So for that, to check your understanding, 8 to 10 passages from Cambridge IELTS books 1, 2, 3, 4. In each book, you will find 12 passages. 4 tests, 3 passages with each test. So try to read and translate along with the mobile phone. And in the mobile phone, you have dictionary. Not for selfie, I am doing my IELTS. No, for dictionary. You come up with a new word, underline the word, type it there. Okay, this word has this meaning. Write it down. Then go on and on and on. After doing 8 to 10 passages, you will have good vocabulary, good understanding, and that will help you. Now, let me tell you, there will be the break of your IELTS score. For example, if you get 18 out of 40, and your band score is not increasing, every day you solve 2 tests and it's not increasing, it means the problem is not with the tests, the problem is with your reading comprehension. You don't understand what you read. The words don't make sense to you. Okay, so the first thing is reading comprehension. You should understand whatever you read. After that, the next thing is skimming. Skimming. You should be able to read something quickly and get to the main point. That is what we call skimming. If there is a paragraph, I say skim through this paragraph, read the first line, middle line, last line, and then you understand this paragraph is about this thing. This is called skimming. And when you skim, don't just look at the words. At least read first sentence, a sentence in the middle, a sentence at the end. That is what we call skimming. And finally, scanning. Scanning is not reading. Scanning is searching. Scanning is only searching for specific word, specific idea. Where is that word? Where is the relevant information? And to me, scanning is the most important thing. Why? Because scanning will take you to the part of the passage where there is the answer. Right? Now, it's not good that you are reading paragraph number 1 to look for an answer, whereas answer is in paragraph number 3. So then there is no time management. If you are in the wrong part of the passage and looking for the answer at the end, you will write the answer. I know that. You will write the answer. That answer will be wrong. Okay, and you are reading the wrong part. So scanning is equally important. Today we are going to practice all 3 things. Okay. So let's take a start. Whenever you start IELTS reading, first you need to read the title of the passage. The title suggests Dover, Bronze Age. You don't understand. Dover, Bronze Age, boat. I understand boat. Kashti. Dover, Bronze Age, it's the name of the boat. Dover, Bronze Age is the old age, right? Then they say, a beautiful preserved boat. Now we understand Dover Bronze Age is actually the name of that very boat. Beautiful preserved boat made around 3,000 years ago and discovered by chance in a muddy hole. Now we understand a boat which was made 3,000 years ago and it was found in a muddy hole has had a profound impact on archaeological research. That's it. So the whole passage is about a boat which was found. They were digging a hole and underground they found a boat. Okay, now you are clear about the passage, and this much understanding is more than enough. Why you need to understand this thing in the beginning? So that you could visualize. You could just think that this is what I'm going to talk about. After this, you have to come to the questions and you need to see. Now remember, there are 2 types of questions, the type 1 or type A where questions and answers are in order, and type B where questions and answers are not in order. Always try to attempt type A questions first. Now it's not necessary that you have to do all the questions in the same order they have given. Like first you do 1 to 5, then you do 6 to 9, then you do 10 to 13. You may start from any question type as long as you know this is type A or type B. Type A means questions and answers are in order, and type B means they are not in order. Now let's start with questions 1 to 5. Complete the flow chart below. Flow chart. Complete. Whenever they use the word complete the sentences below, complete the notes below, complete the flow chart below, complete the diagram below, complete the table below. Whenever they use the word complete, that means questions and answers are going to be in order. Clear? So you should all sentence completion questions, their questions and answers are in order. Now, we read this question, key events. Question number 1, and they said 1 word only. 1 word only means strictly 1 word. Key events. 1992, boat was discovered during the construction of a dash. Now, one thing, please listen. Whenever you have first 5 questions, 1 to 5, section 1, most of the time answers are in first or second paragraph. Now, just you need to find 1992. Have you found it? And then construction of. For construction, they use the word building. So building a new road. So the answer is new road. Absolutely, absolutely. And whenever it is 1 word only, now remember, with 1 word only, they always give you adjective, so that you try to write both words, or sometimes they give you 2 to 3 adjectives with 1 noun. For example, over here they only mentioned new road. Otherwise they can mention new, wide and latest road. New, wide and latest road. Now some of you will think new is the answer, wide is the answer, latest is the answer. In that case, mostly answers are nouns. But you should know this is a noun and this is an adjective. So the answer to question number 1 is road. All clear? Please keep an eye on your neighbors. Just look around. Everybody should find the answer. Question number 2. 2002. Can you find the word 2002 in the passage? Yes. Okay, very good. Where is it? Okay, that's good. 2002. Now listen. An international dash was held. Now look here, look here, look here. First you need to read and understand the question. Don't rush to the paragraph. Listen, they said international dash was held. We usually use held for events, right? Like seminar, workshop and all that. Now see what was held. In 2002, on the 10th anniversary of the discovery, everyone there? Yes. Let's read it. The Dover Bronze Age Boat Trust hosted a conference. Now, one question you may ask me, sir, how do you know it's international? Yeah, they mention international conference was held. Now, please come to the second last line of same paragraph. Many speakers came from overseas. So when speakers come from overseas, that conference becomes international conference. So answer of question number 2 is conference. Very good. All good to everyone? This is just the starting. It will go to climax when your brain will stop working. Okay? So if you don't understand now, then there you will jump into the canal. Okay, question number 3, 2004. Now first look for 2004. Okay. You can see second page, second paragraph, and we've got 2004. But now you're going to read the question. So it's a good idea to skim the question, find a clue word, locate the clue word in the paragraph, and then read the question. Otherwise, you will read it and forget it. So they say here 2004, dash for the reconstruction were produced. Proposals, go back. Detailed proposals to reconstruct the boat were drawn up. Now, what is the word for drawn up? Produced. Produced and drawn up, they are actually the synonyms. So they said detailed proposals to reconstruct the boat were drawn up. 2004, proposals for the reconstruction were produced. So the answer is proposals. Now, do one thing. Whenever you find the answer in the passage, whenever they say select the word from the passage, you need to write the word as it is. Singular, plural, whatever the word is, copy paste the word. If it is a word with a hyphen, write hyphen as well. So the answer is proposals. Clear? Okay, now you can see question number 4, 2007 and 1550 BC. Can you find 2007 and 1550? Yes. Now, again, I'm telling you, do not read the question. First, only look at the question, find a clue word, scan the clue word in the passage, right? And then locate that part of the passage. After that, you read the question. Now, the question is 2007, the dash of boat took place. Dash of boat took place, 1550. Go back. Took place. And for took place, they use the word was held. Was held means took place. So I'm reading this second paragraph. There was much enthusiasm. Found it? Yes. Okay, let's read it from there. Sabko mil gaya? Yes. There was much enthusiasm and support, and an official launch of the project was held at an international seminar in France in 2007. What was held? Launch of the project. Now see that, launch of the project. Now you might think project is the answer. What is the answer? What was held? Project was held or launch was held? Launch was held. Launch of the project. Launch means like you are launching something or you are doing inauguration of something. So answer is going to be the launch of boat. And by the way, if you write the word project of boat took place, that's not appropriate. Launch of boat took place. Launch means inauguration, aghaaz karna, like iftitah karna, like that, okay? Next we have 2012. Now look for 2012. Last paragraph. Now you understand? You will not read the question and waste your time. You will find a word, scan the word, locate the part, and then you read the question. In second last paragraph. Okay, we will see. Now, okay, listen now. If one clue word is given at two locations, then you have to see the context of that. Now we find the context. 2012 and Bronze Age. Yeah, in the first one you see small team and Roman lawn and all that. Okay, let's come back to the question. 2012, the Bronze Age dash featured the boat and the objects. Bronze Age featured boat and other projects. Now, please come to 2012. First it is there, a small team. I'm reading second last paragraph. A small team began to make the boat at the start of 2012 on the Roman lawn outside Dover Museum, blah, blah, blah. Okay, then they come to this age. Now, please come to the last paragraph. Meanwhile, the exhibition was being prepared, ready for opening in July 2012 at the Castle Museum. Now, what's the question? And Castle Museum in sur Mer, it's a French word, entitled Beyond the Horizon Societies. And then they mention Bronze Age objects. Found it? Yes. Okay, Bronze Age and other objects. So for that they use the word other objects. Now the word objects tells us that the answer is going to be here. Although they use 2012 at two locations, but at first location it is not that. Now what is the answer? Bronze Age dash featured. Bronze Age something featured. Meanwhile, exhibition was being prepared, ready for opening in July 2012. It brought together for the first time a remarkable collection. Now tell me one thing, it, where does this word go? What do they mean by it? It does not mean Bronze Age, it means exhibition. Okay, now this is what we call referencing. Sometimes instead of using the word, they will use it, they will use that, they will use this. So it goes back to exhibition. It brought together for the first time a remarkable collection of Bronze Age objects. What brought together the collection? Exhibition. So the answer is exhibition. Now, have you noticed one thing? They did not use the word exhibition. Before they used it without the reference of this thing. Then they used it again, but instead of exhibition, they used the word it. So in that case, you will say, it kahan pe ja raha hai? What do they mean? It is actually a pronoun. And pronoun is always qualifying a noun. So you need to reach that noun where that is. All good? Yes. Okay. Alright guys, now we got a little bhashan about true, false, not given. Students get confused. They don't know what is the difference between true or false. Sometimes they don't know false or not given. And in IELTS, whenever they give you options, you are expert in tukkas. Yeah, you want to get rid of that. You don't understand true, false, not given. Sanu ki either true or false or not given. Pehla true, dusra false because pehla true. And tisra not given. Yeah, exactly. So you're just doing like this, true, false, true, false, true, false, and at the end you check your answers. Out of 5, 1 answer right. Okay, yeah. So listen, in true, false, not given, questions are most important. All the techniques or all the tricks to answer the question correctly, that is in the question. Okay, and in the question you have to find out a word or a phrase. I repeat, in the question you have to find out a word or a phrase which is going to determine whether the statement is going to be true, false, or not given. Now what is true? If the statement agrees with the information. Agrees means it's the same information. What is false? If the statement contradicts, ulti baat. Okay, and what is not given? There is no information. Now this no information thing, again I would say, let's see the question. Archaeologists realized that the boat had been damaged on purpose. Now look here, look here. There is a word which is going to decide whether this is true, false, or not given. Underline on purpose. On purpose. On purpose means willingly. Right? Willingly. On purpose. Now listen. If boat was damaged on purpose, answer is true. If the boat was not damaged on purpose, there was an accident, then the answer is false. And if they don't tell us whether the boat was damaged on purpose or accidentally, then the answer is not given. Now, on purpose is a word which will decide. In every true, false, not given question, there is always a word or a phrase which is going to decide whether the answer is true, false, or not given. Now, let's see. Damage. For the boat, they usually do. Have you heard the word wreckage? W-R-E-C-K, wreckage, boat wreckage, and all that. We go back and we look for any word like that. Wreck. Can you guys come to first title page, third paragraph, last line? Title page, third paragraph, last line after full stop. The boat was not a wreck, but had been deliberately discarded. Discarded means damaged. Deliberately means on purpose. Deliberately and on purpose, they are synonyms. Okay, so they say the boat was not a wreck. Wreck means destroyed accidentally, but had been deliberately discarded. Deliberately means on purpose. Now, what's the question? The question is, archaeologists realized that the boat had been damaged on purpose, deliberately on purpose. The answer is true. Well done. Do you understand now? Fine. This is what we have to check. Okay, question number 7. Initially, only the technological aspects. Listen, in true, false, not given, whenever you find the word only, right? Whatever is written with that, that is going to be the detrimental factor whether the answer is true, false, or not given. So let's read. Now, please underline only the technological aspects. Initially means in the beginning. Only the technological aspects of the boat were examined. Now listen, if sentence will help you a lot. If initially only the technological aspects of the boat were examined, answer is true. If initially not technological, other aspects, it can be cultural, it can be any other thing, if they were examined, then the answer is false. And if they don't tell us that initially which aspects of the boat were actually examined, then the answer is not given. Now, as I said, I did tell you this. True, false, not given, yes, no, not given, they are A-type questions. A-type means questions and answers are in order. Now, we go back where we found the answer of question number 6. Can you please come to the next paragraph? With hindsight. Found it? With hindsight. जिसको नहीं मिला बता दें, दाएं बाएं अपने नजर रखें. Title page, right side column, second paragraph. With hindsight, it was significant that the boat was found and studied by mainstream archaeologists who naturally focused on its cultural context. Not technical, but cultural. In the question, they said only technological. In the passage, they said cultural. Information is contradictory. So the answer is false. Very good. मुझे साथ ले जाइएगा एक्चुअल एग्जाम में, ठीक है? मैं साइड पे बैठ के बताता जाऊंगा. Okay. So let's go on. Question number 8. Archaeologists went back to the site. Underline this. Archaeologists went back to the site. You know, archaeologists, they are the people. And they went back to the site to try and find missing northern end. To try and find missing. Now, northern end is the part of the boat. The northern end is the part of the boat. Okay? Now, listen. If archaeologists went back to search the northern end of the boat, answer is true. If they wanted to go, but because of lack of funds they could not go, then the answer is false. I mean, they did not go. Information is given. But they did not go. And if they don't tell us whether they went back or they wanted to go back or not, then the answer is not given. Now, northern end is your clue word, and we go back. Title page, last paragraph, second last line. The possibility of returning. Returning means go back. The possibility of returning to Dover to search for the boat's unexcavated northern end. Unexcavated means which did not come out of the earth. Northern end was explored. Now try to understand. Whenever they use but, it means they're going to say something contrary. But practical and financial difficulties were insurmountable. Means because of practical and financial difficulties, and there was no guarantee that the timbers had survived the previous decade in the changed environment. So did they go back? No, they did not. They only say possibility of returning. Means they did not go back. It was only the possibility that they discussed. So the question over here, archaeologists went back. No, they did not go back. They only had the possibility. That is why the answer is false. See, like this, if you solve 8 to 10 tests with me through my videos or like this or through the links I share, you're going to be a pro in IELTS reading. Then you will have your own channel, IELTS channel. IELTS with Komal. Yeah. There's no Komal here? Thank goodness. I know one Komal. All right, and that Komal was me. Rest of the story you understand. Yeah, on mobile phone it was me as Komal. And then there was a gentleman on the other side. Bichara. Yeah. Okay. मैं कोमल बन गई थी. बाद में सही हो गया था. Anyways, इस कहानी का यासीन भाई के साथ कोई ताल्लुक नहीं है. ठीक है? Yeah. Exactly. Question number 9. Evidence found in 2004. Evidence found in 2004. Now the clue is 2004. Suggested that Bronze Age boat had been used for trade. Underline evidence found in 2004 and then underline had been used for trade. Now this trade is going to tell you whether it is true, false or not given. Now look here, look here. If evidence is found that the boat had been used for trade they can use the word commerce, business, transporting goods and all that, then the answer is true. If it was used for traveling, not for trade, only for traveling, then the answer is false. And if they don't tell us anything, whether it was trade or commerce or personal tours, then the answer is not given. Now let's go back. Second page, second paragraph, second line. Archaeological evidence. Got it? Yes. Second page, second paragraph, second line, after 2004, archaeological evidence was beginning to suggest a Bronze Age community straddling the channel, brought together by the sea rather than separated by it. In a region today divided by languages, blah, blah, blah. Have they mentioned anything that evidence found in 2004 suggested that Bronze Age boat had been used for trade? Any mention of trade? No. They only say archaeological evidence was beginning to suggest. It means they did not suggest anything. They just began to suggest, right? And then there is no mention of trade, business, tourism, or anything like that. Hence, the answer is not given. Very good. वो क्या नाम था मूवी का? दिल वाले. उसका एक गाना था. क्या था? एक ऐसी कोमल थी. वो कोमल कौन थी? पता चला था. दिल के अरमा आंसुओं में बह गए जब कोमल की जगह सरसद निकल आए. तो चलें जी, अच्छी बात है. इस कहानी का इनसे कोई ताल्लुक नहीं. हाँ, सिर्फ मैं इनको मैसेज किया करती थी. Alright. Okay. तो करें स्टार्ट. कर दिए. चले. तो इनके जो वो वाले जज्बात है ना, मैं उनसे भी बाखबर हूँ. You can understand that. एग्जैक्टली ऑलराइट, तो इसीलिए ना यासीन साहब कहते थे बाकी भी ऑप्शंस है, लेकिन ये कोमल मुझे बहुत अच्छा अंडरस्टैंड करती है, क्यों ना करे, मुझसे ज़्यादा कौन कर सकता है, राइट? अच्छा जी, चलें जी, ये तंज़ो मज़ा अपनी जगह पे रहा, लेकिन जल्दी ख़त्म कर दिया, तो वरना इरादा ये था कि किसी अच्छी रेस्टोरेंट में बुला के तो वहाँ पे फिर इसका ड्रॉप सीन होगा, लेकिन पहले ही कर दिया। बच्चे पे मुझे तरस आ गया था, सीरियस हो रहा था। तो ये डेडिकेट करते हैं इनको कहानी, क्योंकि आज इनकी इंगेजमेंट की एनिवर्सरी है। एंगेजमेंट की कितनी एनिवर्सरी? शादी की तो 8वीं होगी ना। शादी से कितने साल पहले एंगेजमेंट हुई? 2 साल पहले। 10 साल हो गए हैं इनकी एंगेजमेंट को, और इनकी एंगेजमेंट का मैसेज मैंने बनाया था इंग्लिश में। इन्होंने मुझे कहा कि मैसेज बनाए, और मैं मैसेज बनाऊं और उसमें कुछ निकले ना, मैंने लिखा एनुअल एंगेजमेंट सेरेमनी। और इन्होंने सबको आगे फॉरवर्ड भी कर दिया। फिर बाद में लोगों ने बताया हर साल होती है आपकी एनुअल एंगेजमेंट सेरेमनी। ये सारी सच्ची बातें, क्यों इस्माइला ऐसे ही है ना? ये ठीक हो गया। अच्छा जी, आगे चलते हैं। क्वेश्चंस 10 to 13, आंसर द क्वेश्चंस बिलो। अब आ गया जी शॉर्ट आंसर क्वेश्चंस, ठीक है? और पार्ट 1 में आम तौर पे जो क्वेश्चंस आते हैं उसमें क्वेश्चंस और आंसर ना इंग्लिश। इन पार्ट 1 ऑल द क्वेश्चंस दैट वी हैव, क्वेश्चंस एंड आंसर्स आर इन ऑर्डर। That is why try your level best to complete part 1 in 10 to 15 minutes so that you have more time for part 2 and part 3. Anyways, let's take a start. Again, from the question you will find a clue word. Questions and answers are in order. You'll go back. How far under the ground was the boat found? Look here. How far under the ground? Answer is going to be in feet or meters. कि ज़मीन के कितने नीचे थी बोट? How far under the ground the boat was found? How far under the ground the boat was found? Look for the word meters, feet. Second paragraph. At the base of a deep shaft, 6 meters below the modern streets, a wooden structure was revealed. Okay, 6 meters below the modern streets. So underground, for that they use the word modern streets. And answer is 6 meters. And what is the instruction? No more than 3 words and or are. No, you will not write below. Just you will write 6 meters. Because it's mentioned how far under the ground? 6 meters. Okay? Because it is said here, no more than 3 words and or a number. Now, have you noticed one thing? They have written 6 as a word. They do it deliberately so that you don't identify it. Otherwise, numbers are easy to be identified. But when they write numbers in words, so they often do this as well. Okay? Answer is 6 meters, and you can write meters as M-E-T-R-E-S. No, they've mentioned here M-E-T-R-E-S. Just go back and see. M-E-T-R-E-S. Both ways they are right, but when I said copy and paste it, then you should write it as it is. Question number 11. What natural material? Underline natural material. Now, what is the natural material? Wood. Wood is the natural material. All right. Then we've got other. Cane is natural material. Okay. What natural material had been secured to the boat to prevent water entering? Look here. To prevent water entering means making it waterproof. So in order to make the boat waterproof, they used some natural material. Natural material is the material found in nature. It can be trees, plants, or anything like that. Now let's go back. Natural material they used to prevent water entering. Look for the word water. Third paragraph. Can you see the word watertight? Third paragraph, second last line. So, the seams had been made watertight. Watertight means what? Watertight means prevent water entering. So, seams had been made watertight by pads of moss. Now, answer can be moss, but if they have mentioned no more than 3 words, so you can write pads of moss. Moss is green color thing. Right? So, pads of moss. M-O-S-S, moss. Only moss is also right answer. Up to you. You can write 1 or, because they've mentioned 3 words. If it is 1 word only, then you would write only moss. Okay, question number 12. What aspects of the boat was the focus of 2012 reconstruction? 2012 reconstruction, what aspect of the boat? Go back. What aspect of the boat 2012 reconstruction? Please come to second last paragraph of the passage. Second page, second last paragraph. Can you see 2012? Yes. All right. So let's read it from there. They have mentioned 2012 two times here. Let's read it. A small team began. Now we are going to look for the part of the boat which was there. A small team began to make the boat at the start of 2012 on the Roman lawn outside this. This is a full-scale reconstruction of midsection had been made in 1996. Now we are looking for the part of the boat. It hasn't come yet. Primarily to see how Bronze-Age replica tools performed. In 2012, however, the hull shape was the center of the work. Hull shape was center of work. Center of work means focus. So what aspect of the boat was the focus of 2012 reconstruction? Hull shape. H-U-L-L, hull. S-H-A-P-E, hull shape. Clear? Okay, last question. Which two factors, whenever in the question they say two factors, look for the word and. With and, they can be two things together or separately. Which two factors influence the decision not to make a full-scale reconstruction of the boat? Two factors. Same paragraph. Look for two words with dash and dash. Second last paragraph, fourth last line. It was decided. Mil gaya? Yes. It was decided to make the replica half scale for reasons of cost and time. Right? It was decided to make the replica half scale for reasons of cost and time. So which two factors? You will write your answer because they've mentioned no more than three words. So you can write cost and time. If the same question type is no more than two words, then you will write cost, comma, and time, or otherwise cost, space, and then you can write time. Clear? All right, that's good. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Now we start. We've got reading passage, and whenever you start reading passage, start it happily, excitedly. Okay? Yes, because when you start it excitedly, your energy level will be good. I know there are some questions that can drain your brain, right? But you should see how to deal with them and all that. So in today's session, we will solve one complete test, 40 out of 40 questions. And we will see how to deal with them in actual exam. All right? The first thing is you need to read and understand the question. The second thing is question will take you to the passage where there is the answer. And I'll tell you how. I mean, question will be the navigation guide. It will take you to the part of the passage, paragraph, sentence where there is the answer. And then there are certain tricks. I will tell you type A questions, type B questions, where questions and answers are in order, where they are not in order, and all that. So be attentive, and you have to repeat this test at home after me with all 40 questions, okay? Now, title, Bats to the Rescue. Bats, you know bats? You might be thinking it's the cricket bat. No. It's the other one. What do we call bat in Urdu? Chamgadad. Punjabi. Chamchidi? Okay, chamchidi in Punjabi. And then they say how Madagascar's bats are helping to save the rainforest. Bats are helping to save the rainforest. Now it means they will talk about the benefits of bats. They will talk about the advantages, benefits of bats, and how bats are rescuing the rainforest in Madagascar. Have you seen any documentary about rainforest or anything? Yeah, otherwise just imagine a forest where it rains a lot, full of water and all that, okay? Your imagination. Sometimes students say, we cannot concentrate. It's difficult to concentrate IELTS reading. So for them, it is a good idea to visualize whatever you read. And you know, the readers who read books, they always visualize. Whenever you read something, you visualize. So if you visualize, you will understand better. But for visualization, it is important to understand what you read. That's the main problem. Many students can read English, but what they read, they don't understand, right? Then they say, Kenda kiye. Yeah, then they read again, then they focus. So please remember one thing. There are three types of words which can help you understand the sentences. Number one, verbs, because verb is an action word. So verb will tell you what action is going on in the sentence. Second is noun. And nouns are common nouns, proper nouns. Proper nouns you know very well. It can be the name of a place, person, thing, and all that. And common nouns, usually you know, but if there is anything new, they define that as well. And the third one is adjective. So if you only focus and understand verbs, nouns, and adjectives, you can understand 70% of the passage. Okay? And by the way, you don't need to understand 100% passage, because you will not read 100% passage. You will only read, if it is part 1, you will read 13 points or 13 sentences in the passage, and you will be able to find the answer. Now, total sentences can be 150 sentences, 80, 90 sentences, but you are going to read only 13 sentences because there are 13 questions. So let's start. After reading the title and the subtitle and switching on your imagination, you are going to come to this question. Questions 1 to 6. And the question type is true, false, not given. Now, this is very tricky for many students, and true, false, not given may appear in part 1, part 2, part 3, and there are only 3 parts in IELTS reading, okay? So don't say part 4, okay? So I will not be very fast today. I'll go on, and you have to be with me. We will go along together. We'll get along together. Now, in true, false, not given, there is a word or a phrase which is going to decide whether the answer is true, false, or not given. The first thing is, when you read the sentence, you have to find 2 things. Number 1, you have to find a clue word. Number 2, you have to find the word or a phrase which is going to decide whether the answer is going to be true, false, or not given. Okay? So let's see. Question number 1. Many Madagascan forests are being destroyed. Underline many. Many Madagascan forests are being destroyed by attacks from insects. Now listen. If many forests are being destroyed by attacks from insects, answer is true. If not insects, there is some other species of animals, not insects, and many Madagascan forests are being destroyed by them, then it is false. And if many Madagascan forests are being destroyed by human activity, not by insects, even then the answer is false. And if they don't tell us how many Madagascan forests are being destroyed by insects, by human, by any other animals, they don't mention that, then the answer is not given. Got it? So whenever you read the question, you're going to read it like that. Now, let's go on Madagascan forests. And by the way, true, false, not given is type A question. Type A means questions and answers are in order, in a sequence. And usually when they give you 1 to 6 questions, 1 to 5 sentence completion, true, false, not given, usually start searching the answer from the first paragraph. Okay? Now, let's go to first paragraph. Can you see Madagascan forests? Second line. This is what we call location. What do we call it? Location of the answer in the passage. So, if you reach the right location, after reading 1 to 2 sentences, you will find the answer. If you are at the wrong location, this is how IELTS reading goes out of your control. Then you read another paragraph, then you read another passage, another line, and at the end you guess and you go on. Okay? Now we are clear, we are going to look for how many Madagascan forests are being destroyed. And see that I still remember the question. You know how? Because I imagined. I imagined Madagascan forest, I imagined insects, I imagined destruction. So you're imagining, because when you do IELTS reading, there'll be pin drop silence in examination room. So you can just do it on your own, right? Now let's read second line. Madagascar's forests are being converted to agricultural land at a rate of 1% every year. Much of this destruction, much of means many. Much of this destruction is fueled by the cultivation of the country's main staple crop, and that is rice. And a key reason for this destruction is that insect pests are destroying vast quantities of what is grown by local subsistence. So, and a key reason for this destruction, who is destroying it? No. Let's come to third sentence. Much of this destruction is fueled by the cultivation of country's main staple crop, rice. Now, how are they destroying? Because they want to grow rice, so they are cutting the forest and they are growing rice over there. They said much of this destruction is fueled by cultivation. Now, what is insect? Let's read it. And a key reason for this destruction is that insect pests are destroying vast quantities of what is grown by local subsistence farmers. Now, insect pest. What is pest? It's the medicine that kills pest and pesticide. So it's not the insects, it's the farmers who are chopping down the Madagascar forest for the purpose of cultivating rice. Okay, so what is the answer? Many Madagascan forests are being destroyed by attacks from insects. No, they use the word insect pests, but they are being destroyed by human activity, and that is cultivation for rice. Hence the answer is false. Right? Just underline that sentence. Question right there, question number 1. When you go back home, practice, read again, even read 10 times, unless a voice comes from your inside. Acha! You know, sometimes when the power fails, and after some time, after 1 to 2 hours, the power restores, some people shout cheerfully, shukr hai, something like, and some people abuse. Okay, when the power fails, they abuse. When it restores, they abuse. But anyways, so you're not going to abuse. You find the answer and you abuse in the exam. Oh, no, the something like that. Question number 2. Loss of habitat. Now underline loss of habitat. Habitat means place to live. Okay, for animals, where they live, that is their habitat. Loss of habitat has badly affected insectivorous bats. Okay, insectivorous bats are the bats that eat insects. Loss of habitat has badly affected insectivorous bats in Madagascar. Now listen. Loss of habitat has badly affected the bats. Loss of habitat means now bats don't have place to live, and that has actually affected insectivorous bats in Madagascar. Insectivorous means bats that eat different type of insects. Now we go back. Exactly, third last line. Okay, see that? Now questions and answers are in sequence. Third last line. The result is devastating habitat. Clue word is habitat and the other one. The result is devastating habitat and biodiversity loss on the island. But not all species are suffering. Okay, let's read on. In fact, some of the island's insectivorous bats are currently thriving. Thriving means they are struggling to exist. And this has important implications for farmers and conservationists alike. So, the bats, are they suffering from it? No, they are not suffering from it. Come back to the questions. Loss of habitat has badly affected insectivorous bats. Has it affected insectivorous bats? No, it is not. Please come back. Let's read again. Some of the island's insectivorous bats are currently thriving. Currently thriving means they are still living happily and it has not affected them. Currently thriving means they are not being affected. So question number 2, loss of habitat has badly affected. No, they are currently thriving. It's the opposite. Hence the answer is false. Let's go on. Question number 3, Ricardo Rocha. Now what is this? Clue word. Ricardo Rocha. Names are the best clue words. Sometimes numbers are the best clue words. So, Ricardo Rocha has carried out studies of bats in different parts of the world. Just underline different parts of the world. That's it. Now look here. If he's done the research in one city, one part of the world, answer will be false. If they say he's done this study in Asia, Europe, America, and Australia, these are different parts of the world, then the answer will be true. And if they don't tell us, they tell us about his study, but they don't tell us whether it was in different parts of the world or same part, then it will be not given. Now look for Ricardo Rocha. Wow. See that? How systematically it's going on? So, Ricardo Rocha, he's passionate. I'm reading second paragraph. First line, he is passionate about conservation and bats. More specifically, he is interested in how bats are responding to human activity and deforestation in particular. Rocha's new study, now be active. Answer is in this sentence. Rocha's new study shows that several species of bats are giving Madagascar's rice farmers a vital pest control service by feasting on plague of insects. Now, have they mentioned anything that this study is related to one area or different areas of the world? No. So the answer is not given. Why not given? Because different parts of the world has not been mentioned. Clear? Again, I'm saying underline the line, the sentence where there is the answer, write question number down there, and then you can practice. Let's go on. Question number 4, habitat modification. Habitat modification means change in place of living. Habitat modification has resulted in indigenous bats in Madagascar becoming useful to farmers. Now, habitat modification, what has it done? Indigenous bats mean the bats that belong to that area. All right? Yeah. So, habitat modification has resulted in indigenous bats in Madagascar becoming useful. Now, listen. If due to habitat modification, bats are becoming useful to farmers, answer is true. If despite habitat modification, bats are not useful, then it is false. And if they don't tell us whether they are useful or useless, then not given. So, habitat modification. Look for modification. Okay. All right. Okay, let's just focus this thing. Second paragraph. Please come to the second paragraph. Second paragraph, and we read it from third line. Rocha's new study shows that several species of bats are giving Madagascar's rice farmer a vital pest control service. Now, what is pest control service? Bats are eating the insects or pests. Bats are eating the pests. So, what is it? Just read it again. Rocha's new study shows that several species of bats are giving Madagascar's rice farmers a vital pest control service by feasting on plague of insects, and this he believes can ease the financial pressure on farmers to turn forest into field. Now, we are just concerned about habitat modification. Resulted in indigenous bats, Madagascar becoming useful to farmers. So, can you see anything related to habitat modification? Let's go on to fourth paragraph. Okay. Fourth paragraph, which line? Yeah, we've got habitat modification. Absolutely. Let's read it from the beginning. Co-leading an international team of scientists, Rocha found that several species of indigenous bats are taking advantage of habitat modification to hunt insects swarming above the country's rice field. Absolutely. So, the answer is true. Exactly. So, the clue word was habitat modification result in indigenous bats of Madagascar becoming useful to farmer. Now, by the way, what is the phrase for becoming useful to farmer? Read it, read it. Hunt insects swarming above the country's rice fields. So, when they are eating insects, they are becoming useful to Farmers, because farmers want these insects to be eaten or controlled and all that. Okay, so the answer is true. Please come back to question number 5. Malagasy mouse-eared bat. It's the name of the bat. So the clue word is Malagasy mouse-eared bat is more common than other indigenous bat species in Madagascar. Now listen, if Malagasy mouse-eared bat is more common than other ones, answer is true. Try to understand. Listen now, listen. Whenever in true, false, not given, they use the word than. T-H-A-N, than. Than means comparison. They compare two things. So if, like they say, Malagasy mouse-eared bear is more common. If this mouse-eared bear is more common than the other one, answer is true. If the other one is more common than the mouse-eared, answer is false. And if they don't tell us which one is more common or less common, then it is not given. So whenever they give you comparative sentence in true, false, not given, this is what you guys need to check. Now let's go back. It's the same 4th paragraph. I'm going to read it from 3rd line. They include Malagasy mouse-eared bat, Major's long-fingered bat, the Malagasy white-bellied free-tailed bat, and Peter's wrinkle-lipped bat. Now, have they given us any comparison that which one is more common or less common? Hence, the answer is not given. Got it? So, whenever they use comparatives, then as compared to this, that, then you have to check. English, please.
Sir, he can tell in other paragraphs.
It is also possible, but as I mentioned, in true, false, not given, questions and answers are going to be in the order. So you will just go on like this. Okay. All right. Let's go on. Question number 6. Bats may feed on paddy. What is paddy? Rice field. Yeah, the dhan, what we call it. Bats may feed on paddy swarming caterpillars. Now, it means bats can eat paddy swarming caterpillars and grass webworms. Now, if they can eat, listen, when they give 2, and if they say, well, bats can easily eat paddy swarming caterpillars, but they don't like eating grass webworms. If they give 2 things, one they like to eat, second they don't, answer will be false. Right? If they eat both, answer will be true. And if they don't like both, or if they don't mention whether they like or they feed or not, then it is not given. Now the clue word is paddy swarming caterpillar and grass webworms. So, very good. Let's read second last paragraph of this page. These winner species are providing a valuable free service to Madagascar as biological pest suppressors, says Rocha. We found that 6 species of bat are preying on rice pests, including the paddy swarming caterpillar and grass webworm. So they are included, hence the answer is true. Got it? And if they mentioned one, not the other one, then it could be false. Good. It depends. Right? If the first question type is type A, then start from there. Otherwise, start from type A. Wherever there is type A. Okay, guys. Questions 7 to 13. Complete the table below. Choose one word only from the passage for each answer. Now, table completion. Questions and answers are going to be in order. Usually part 1 is the part where we have 2 main type of questions, true, false, not given, and sentence completion. And both question types are type A. Type A means questions and answers are in order. Okay, now let's read the question. The study carried out by Rocha or Roca or whatever, okay, listen, never care about your pronunciation in IELTS reading, because you are reading to yourself. Koi mazak bhi nahi udayega. Okay, and one more thing, always read in your heart. No lip sync. You cannot read like this. The study carried out by Rocha's team aimed in... Okay, not like this. You will read like this. Yeah, you will read like this. Means you will not produce any noise because even whispering is not allowed. Right? Yeah. Some students told me they were whispering and the invigilator came and said, shh. Yeah. All right. Okay. Let's go on. The study carried out by Rocha's team. Now, aim, there is no question. But can you guys see there is the word Rano Mafina National Park? Underline that. Because this can help you. Rano Mafana National Park. Now, method. Let's read the question. Ultrasonic recordings. Now, read question number 7. DNA. What's the clue word? DNA. Wow. DNA analysis of bat dash. Look, it's going to be something related to bat. It can be the part of bat's body or it can be something related to bat. DNA analysis of bats. For example, DNA analysis of bat's hair. DNA analysis of bat's eyes or anything like that. So let's go back. DNA is the clue word. Second page, first paragraph, you will find DNA there. And it is also possible that you find DNA on a number of different locations. Okay. So then you need to check what is the context of DNA. Now, second page, first paragraph, I'm going to read the last sentence. They next used DNA barcoding techniques to analyze droppings collected from bats. Droppings collected from bats means bats droppings. Yeah. So the answer is? Yeah, dropping, sorry. Dropping collected from bats, that means bats dropping. Okay, for example, food collected from animals. Animals' food, right? So the answer is droppings. And one more thing, whenever you have to write a word from the passage, please copy it 100%. For example, droppings, plural, just write droppings. Don't try to temper the word. Whatever the word is, write the word as it is, okay? Let's go on. Next is findings. In findings, you can see the word located on hills. And then, can you see the word, question number 8. Please come to question number 8. Findings. 8 pests of rice, dash, sugarcane, nuts and fruit. What's the clue word? Sugarcane, nuts, fruit. So please look for sugarcane, nuts, fruit. And the fourth word is going to be your answer. Sugarcane, nuts, fruit. Sugarcane, nuts, fruit. Absolutely. Second paragraph, second last line. All of you please follow. Second paragraph, second last line. There you can see these words. So I'm going to read it from fourth last line. Whenever you find the word, find the last full stop and start from there. While the findings indicated, found it? Okay. While the findings indicated that rice farming benefits most from the bats, the scientists also found indications that the bats were consuming pests of other crops, including the black twig borer, which infests coffee plants, sugarcane cicada, the Meremia nut borer, and the sober tabby, that is pest of citrus fruit. So, which word is missing? Yeah, the word which is missing is coffee plants. And how many words are we supposed to write? One word. Now, will we write coffee or will we write plants? Coffee. Why? Because they mentioned the word sugarcane, nuts, and fruit. Okay? Sugarcane, nuts, and fruit. Now, they mentioned here which infest coffee plants. Sugarcane, that is already mentioned. And then for nut, they use that technical word, macadamia. And sober tabby, a pest of citrus fruit. So sober tabby is a fruit. Okay, so correct answer is only and only coffee. Now, instead of coffee, don't write cafe. Okay, because I like cafe, I will write cafe. Sorry? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Listen, listen. Just focus the word rice, sugarcane, nuts, and fruit. So when you are not writing technical terminologies and you're supposed to write one word, I read this again. Second last line, please follow me. Black twig borer, which infests coffee plants. Okay, then sugarcane cicada, that is for sugarcane. Macadamia nut borer, that is for nut. And the sober tabby, a pest of citrus fruit, that is for fruit. So fruit is mentioned, sugarcane is mentioned, nut is mentioned, coffee is missing, hence coffee is your answer. Clear? All right, let's go on. Question number 9, please. Prevent, now these are the findings and answers are in sequence. Prevent the spread of disease by eating dash and black flies. So answer will come with black flies. They eat black flies and dash. Look for black flies. Okay, black flies, and you can see it's third last paragraph. Third last paragraph, everyone found it? Okay, so I'm just going to read it from second line. Associated with spreading disease. Disease is mentioned here. Let's go on. Roca and his team found evidence that Malagasy bats feed not just on crop pests, but also on mosquitoes, carriers of malaria, Rift Valley fever virus, and elephantiasis, as well as black flies. Now with black flies, what is the other word they have mentioned? Mosquitoes. So the correct answer is going to be mosquito. Singular or plural? Yes, as they mentioned in the passage. And by the way, with and, the other word black flies is plural. So you should write plural mosquitoes, and be careful with the spelling when you copy. See, you found the answer, and because of careless spelling mistake, it's wrong. What a pity. And one wrong answer will decrease your band score from 7 to 6.5, from 8 to 7.5. Be careful. Let's go on. Local attitudes to bats are mixed. They provide food rich in. Now listen. What do they mean by they? No, they means bat. Listen, they say local attitudes to bats are mixed. They means bats provide food. What does it mean? Some people eat bats. See, that's what people believe. This came, okay, I'll not say anything about it. Leave it. So, they provide food. Now listen, bats provide food, and that food is rich in something. Now imagine bat is meat. So, meat provides? Absolutely, that is the answer. Go back and find it. Second last paragraph. Rocha points out that the relationship is complicated. When food is scarce, bats become a crucial source of protein for local people. What does it mean? Local people eat bats with tomato ketchup. All right? You say you're eating a sandwich. Someone asks you, what sandwich are you eating? Bat sandwich. All right? Barbecue. Which barbecue? Bat barbecue. Okay, what is this soup about? Bat soup. All right, okay, I'm feeling bad. So the answer is protein. Source of protein for local people, and this protein comes from bats. This is how they believe this COVID-19 started. Yeah. Anyways, let's go on. Question number 11. The buildings where they roost, they means? Absolutely. And you should be clear about this thing. Whenever they use the word they, them, this, you should be clear about that. The buildings where they roost become. What do they become? What do those buildings become? Let's go back. Same paragraph. Yeah, third. I'm reading it from second line. Even the children. Found it? It's the second last paragraph, second line. Please follow me. Even the children will hunt them, and as well as roosting in trees, the bats sometimes roost in buildings. Now be careful, but are not welcome there because they make them. Them means buildings. Again, see, this is very important to see where they or them goes. They make them unclean. So buildings become unclean. Answer is unclean. Got it? Let's go on. Question number 12. They play. What do they mean by they? Bats, chamchita and all that, okay? Bats play an important, and you can do one thing, read it as bats play for your understanding. Otherwise, they play, you'll not understand that. Bats play an important role in local dash. Go back. Local. And by the way, for local, they use the word people. Same paragraph, read after unclean. Found it? At the same time, mil gaya? Please follow me. At the same time, however, they are associated with sacred caves and the ancestors, so they can be viewed. They means bats can be viewed as beings between words, which makes them very significant in the culture of the people. That means local culture. Culture of the people means local culture. Answer is, why not people? Yeah, local is already there for people. So answer is culture. Last thing, recommendation. Farmers should provide special, underline the word special. For special, sometimes they use specific or any other word like that. Farmers should provide special dash to support the bat population. Now, let's come back. Same paragraph, last two lines. Farmers should provide. Look for the word farmers or anything like that. And what is it that they should provide? Second last paragraph, second last line. Rocha says. Found it? Yes. Everyone found it? Rocha says. With the right help, we hope that farmers can promote this mutually beneficial relationship by installing bat houses. Now listen. Who is going to provide bat houses? Farmers. And by the way, for provide, they use the word by installing bat houses. Now listen. What will be the answer? Exactly. It is not going to be bat because it's one word only. So farmers should provide special houses to support the bat population. So bat is already mentioned. That is why answer is only houses. And you must follow this thing carefully. If you write bat houses out of excitement, I found the answer, yeah. I'll write bat also, full answer. Okay, that full answer will be the reason for the wrong answer. All right, thank you.